everyone, I'm Obs on Obs Avenue, and today I want to share with you 4 tips on how we have made our homeschool more fun. We used to be stuck in a rut of math, L and A, getting a few of our schoolwork done, getting burnt out, and missing out on all the fun stuff, and getting it into a task list every day. I was worried about getting behind and not getting those important things that we needed to do done. Nothing against on how important those things are. They are still very important in our home, and we do still get them done, but now we have added in the fun things into our home. And here we go, tip number 1. My first tip is to find social studies and history, science, your units, or your curriculums, to find it as a unit study. That means you can study the topic all together as a family. These have blessed our life tremendously by, and if you haven't done these before, it's where you learn the lesson together, and then your assignments are grade appropriate. So your older kids can do research and do essays and those kind of things, and your younger kids can color a picture. But the lesson is all together, and so this has created fun table talk as we are telling Dad what we have learned about that day, and where everybody can chime in, oh yeah, and we learned this fun fact, and then even my little kids can chime in, oh yeah, and I remember this. And then as we go throughout our day and we are recognizing things that we are learning about, for example, last year we learned about space and the moon, or things that we have seen, we can create fun topic in our home and builds that excitement. And I am also right there with them, learning and adding to it, and we can even take something that we are enjoying and having fun, and we can dive deeper and create our own projects and create our own research to those things that are really catching our joy and fun, and we can do it together as a family, and it has really brought a tremendous amount of joy into our home. All right, tip number 2 is to find a way to become accountable for those fun things, those extracurricular activities, such as PE, art, music, maybe a foreign language, maybe it could be something like Lego building. I don't know, whatever it is that sparks your family's interest, find a way to become accountable to bring them into your home. For me, we do enjoy to be social, and we also enjoy doing these fun things that we have talents in, and we wanted to build upon those talents. But because I was so busy with making sure that checklist is done, and by the end of the day, I was too exhausted to try to, okay, I'm done for the day. We got all of our important things done, so let's call it a day, but we were missing out on our fun things. So I needed to find a way to become accountable, and here's what I did. My first thing I did was create a homeschool co-op, and if you are interested in how I created that and how it is functioning and continuing to run, go ahead and comment below, and I can go ahead and make a movie on it if there is interest out there. So anyways, I created a homeschool co-op. We had about 4 or 5 friends, and it grew from there. They knew somebody who knew somebody else who wanted to be part of a homeschool co-op. And so we got a group together, and we planned, and everybody helps participate in taking charge of a field trip, taking charge of an activity. And so the load is shared, and we are getting our kids out there and having fun. How ours works is bi-weekly, somebody is in charge of a field trip in which we can go explore things, we can learn about new topics. Sometimes other people are brought in to teach us about something. One time we had a police officer bring in his dog, and they showed us all sorts of things that they do. So the variety is endless. We create our own plays. There's just so much you can do when there are more people involved, and so a co-op was the way for us to do it. So like I said, we do those on bi-weekly, and then on the in-between weeks, we fill in with PE or art projects or some fun activity. Okay, so we had a co-op, and then I wanted to add on to our art, because we have an art talent in our home, and we really enjoy doing it, and I really enjoy teaching it also. And so I decided I needed to be accountable for doing an art project, because even though I can do it and I'm totally capable, it was exhausting to try to do it, and then it was a half-hearted here you go, let's just color something today. Let's just do something to say we did it, right? Well, I pulled in another family, which made me more accountable. So we get together every other week, and now I have to have an art project. I have to do something. And so we do an art project together, and that has brought joy into my home because we now do an activity together, and my boys are on the receiving end of this talent that I am trying to share. And so that's making me accountable has been so wonderful. Another idea is you can bring somebody into your home. Maybe you don't want to be the teacher. So we wanted to bring Spanish into our home. We, again, joined another family who also had the same interest to learn Spanish. And we have a teacher in the place where we live. Actually, it's somebody who speaks Spanish, and asked her if she would come and work with us and teach us and how to pronounce things correctly and stuff. And so she comes in, meets with us weekly, and this has also made us accountable at having a schedule. Maybe it's music. Maybe you want to bring in a music teacher or go to a music teacher's home and learn those things. But anyways, become accountable on a regular basis of fitting these things into your home. Okay, my tip number 2 is to not have 5 days of school a week, but to have 4. And what I mean by this is we get our math and our L&A done on 4 specific days of the week, and our 5th day is for our fun day. It might be that art project day. It's for journal writing. It's for doing the things that we don't normally do on the other days of the week. We do a popcorn reading where I have a chapter book that I am reading to my family, and they get to all have a bowl of popcorn or some type of treat while they're listening to this chapter book. I've also seen other moms do poetry and tea time where they have, again, some type of fun treat or drink or something, and the family shares poetry together. So create a day set aside where it's still schoolwork and you are still accomplishing things, but it is not your typical days of math and L&A and those checklist items, but it's bringing in those fun things. Another reason that this is so good is because some days we are sick, sometimes we have a huge field trip or holidays or things in which these aren't always done, and so we can get a catch-up day on that 5th day if we need to. So it is a good idea to have 4 days just so that you can always have a 5th catch-up day so that you are not falling behind in your curriculums. Okay, and now finally for my tip number 1, it is to have a theme in your homeschool. This has blessed my life and homeschool journey tremendously. We got this idea from a friend of creating a theme for your homeschool. So we decided to implement it, and it has taken off, and it has brought, it has ignited imagination, it has ignited ambition to do our schoolwork. It has created this flair of homeschool is so enjoyable, okay? So how do we implement this theme? Well, we start at the very beginning of the year by decorating our door according to our theme. Everybody gets to create their own name tag according to the theme and hang it on the door, and we decorate it according. Then we implement the theme throughout the year. Sometimes it's a movie or a book. Last year we did How to Train Your Dragon. We are huge How to Train Your Dragon fans, and so we decided to do this one for our first year. And we took testing and made it fun. So I would have a set of test questions, and we made little Viking helmets, we made little Viking shields and everything. And so they are going to battle against this test. And so one of the other kids get to be the dragon, and they get to fire balls or something at them. And so they get to answer the questions, and if they get it wrong, then they get fired at, and if they get it right, then they get to block and fight the dragon. And so it was a fun way to just bring something fun into our homeschool. So something else we did was they each got their own little dragon egg and hatched their own little dragon, and then they got to record it into a dragon book and go on an adventure and learning about all these. They were able to do little reports and fun little things throughout the year. and get award ceremonies according to their Dragon Training Academy. And so that was just something fun. We do not do a theme every day. It's more of a once a month or once every other month. Our theme kind of weaves itself into our homeschool, reigniting our flair to keep going and just re-bringing that joy into our homeschool. This year we are doing Guardians of Galhul, which is a book about owls. We are studying owls, we are researching owls. We dissected owl pellets. We learned about, in the book there's something about chaws where they have a special talent, and so we implemented that into our homeschool, in which they all receive their own chaw, in where it's their talent that they get to flourish upon with mom one-on-one. So they each got an hour in which they got to do this special project or special talent with mom and bring it above and beyond. There's just so much you can do. You don't have to do like a movie or a book. You could just do a theme like a safari theme or an ocean theme and just tie so much into learning. Take your science unit and make that into a theme. Anything you can do theme-wise, it will just build your children's imagination. So bringing a theme into our homeschool has created a flair, it has created excitement, and that is my final tip for you today. And I hope you can take some of these tips and implement them into your home. So here we go again. Tip number 1 was to find unit study for your history and science and those kind of things, and do it together as a family. Tip number 2 was to find a way to be accountable for the fun things like PE and art and music and all those kind of things. Find a way to be accountable. Tip number 3 was to not do 5 days of schoolwork, of regular schoolwork, but to do 4. That way you have that 5th day of school for fun activities. And then my 4th tip, last but not least, my 4th tip was to add a theme into your homeschool and watch it flourish and grow. These are my tips for you, and I hope they helped. Please comment below if you have things you would like to see in other videos or things you have questions about. Thanks for watching.